I wanted to ask you about one last thing. This comment I thought was interesting, and tell me what you think about it.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was,
right,
but they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
So in what way was slavery made to seem more horrible than it was?
Just say
we were talking about, and I don't really want to go into this too much because we're kind of past this.
You said it.
But I was quoting a Thomas Sowell book.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Who's that?
Yeah. So Thomas Sowell's an author who talks about the history of slavery. So.
Thomas Sowell. Oh, so do you agree with that premise that slavery was embellished, or no?
I think that
she's scared shitless to talk about this.
There are parts that are under embellished, and there are parts that are over embellished. I think it just depends what we're talking about.
That's so interesting. I've got to know what was over embellished about slavery.
Ethan.
Just like one example, I'm dying to know.
Look, this man is so excited to talk. First of all, I think it's funny that he's talking about this because Ethan said the N-word so many freaking times. I mean, it's like comfortably too. It was one of the reasons why I can't stand him, but it's so funny that he's asking this because he was like, I gotta know which parts did they embellish? Please let me, because he knows that she obviously doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah, I just rather, I mean, I was talking about a book that I read, and I think to understand the context, you'd have to read the book.
But you just said some parts were embellished, some parts were under embellished.
I just, again,
are you retracting that?
I'd really just rather not.
Yeah, because you agree with every fucking guest that you have on, and you were dumb enough to agree or like pander to fucking Nick Fuentes and talk about slavery, you moron. That's why you don't want to talk about it, because you're stupid and you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay. No, but slavery being embellished, that's so
it's a wild claim.
I don't know how you embellish it.
There are certain facts that we're not allowed to talk about.
Like what? I would love to. We're doing the taboo. We're mixing it up. It's red pill, baby. Let's see the world as it is.
Taboo topics.
I genuinely want to know how it was embellished.
Yeah.
What can't we talk about? Come on.
Because she got her.
I mean, I could show you the video I was quoting, but it's just, I'd rather not get into this. So.
She's checking her phone.
Sounds like a blue pilled attitude to me.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping this was like a good faith interview.
Wait, what's bad faith?
Whoa. Hey, wait. What's bad faith about it? What's bad faith about it? You said this publicly. So why can't I address it? What? How is this bad faith?
I'm literally showing you clips of you saying stuff.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. What about this interview has been bad faith?
I just think you're kind of trying to push an agenda, and you're not.
How?
Yeah, I just think you're trying to push.
That's a clip of you saying that. You can disavow it. That'd be super easy to say I was wrong.
Full interview where I'm quoting somebody. Like, if you watch the full interview, I am quoting somebody, and now you're trying to pin me down about a topic that I don't dive into.
Hold on.
So it's
you were comfortable enough to dive into it when you had a white supremacist on your podcast.
That's not the point of my channel.
Okay,
the point of my channel isn't
those goddamn reaction videos.
How is that bad faith? Hold on, let me see.
Okay, because I was talking about how the founder of the Thomas Sowell talks about how the guy that made Roots talked about how it was a myth for his people to live by. Okay. That's what the guy who made Roots said.
The story. I don't necessarily think he means the depiction. The story of Roots. The story, sure, but the depiction, probably not.
That Alex Haley.
Okay.
So, and I can't even talk about that on a podcast without being canceled by the internet.
Yeah, but mythology, you know, myth doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie, right? Just because mythology is like a culture,
right, but
a
I'm
history.
saying that doesn't mean the way it's depicted in the movie was how it actually happened. And that's what he was talking about on the book. But again, I was quoting a book, and you're trying to like pin me down on quoting a book.
Let me watch this again and see if I'm doing that.
Stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said I wanted a myth for my people to live by. Yeah. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish.
And you say, but here's what they do.
And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible.
I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible.
Right. But they want to make it like more horrible.
But they want to make it more horrible.
That they can control people.
So that they can control people.
Right, but
Nick Fuentes agrees.
But wait! Oh my gosh! 5 minutes before I say Sowell talks about this in his book, so I'm communicating in the interview that I'm quoting an author.
You're not being honest,
like at all.
You say they do this to. Okay, so you disavow. Just disavow it then. That's easy. Just say I don't think slavery was embellished. I mean, that's super easy. That's like a layup.
But she won't, because if she backtracks, she's gonna lose her audience.
You know what I mean? It's like, just say you don't think slavery was embellished.
I think there are certain facts that you're not allowed to talk about. I don't really want to talk about it today.
But that Roots was what is a myth?
Again, there are certain facts you're not allowed to talk about, and I don't really feel like getting into it today.
Thomas Sowell compared Barack Obama to Adolf Hitler. Do you like that analogy?
I don't even know who this is, but Jesus Christ, this is the person that she quoted on her podcast. Are you serious? He equated Obama to Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was seeking a mass genocide of the Jewish people. How are you going to equate him to Barack Obama? But this is the person that you are quoting. What are you saying?
That's the author you're quoting. Do you think that's a fair analogy?
That's a quite one-sided way to write his whole work, but he wrote like 100 books.
Oh, I'm just asking you, do you agree with that statement? Barack Obama is comparable to Adolf Hitler.
Wow. Wait.
No?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
See, it's not hard. It's not hard. That's awesome. That's easy to do.
Why did it take her so long?
You also said George Washington was viewed from his slaves like a father. I guess that's part of what the myth, I guess, is that not all slave owners were
yeah.
evil.
Guys, I'm starting doing that in all of my videos.
Like George Washington. Did you say that?
I don't remember.
I
think like if someone's a great and powerful man in history to the point like they're talking about him hundreds of years later, he didn't have any kids, but
did he own slaves?
What?
Did he own slaves? George Washington.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, no romance to me. I'm just saying.
No, it's actually interesting. He had a different, like, he inherited his slaves.
Oh, that makes it better.
Wasn't as simple as he could have just like let them go, because the debt that's incurred on them, like, you can't just release them. And so his slaves actually, like, he had a really good relationship with them, and they considered him like a dad.
Yo, why y'all ain't tell me she said that? Why y'all didn't see? This is why you need to join the Discord. Join the goddamn Discord so you can share information like this. Why you didn't tell me she said that? What the fuck? Oh, she's so stupid. Wow, she really said that, huh? Wow. Oh,
what's your source for that?
That was from a Thomas Sowell book.
Shit. Yeah,
Thomas Sowell. So he's your guy. Thomas Sowell's the man. Thomas Sowell wrote a column about supporting segregation in public schools. George Washington.
You want me to apologize? Like, you want me to talk about every single one of this man's opinions?
No, I just want to know what you think. Do you think racism was embellished? I mean, it's so easy. I mean, just say no.
Okay. There was a time where I started to read accounts from actual slaves. So these were like in like and I can't really talk about this. Like, even if I talk about this now, they're going to clip it. They're going to say things I didn't say.
Whole 5-course meal.
But it's like,
you did say this.
I used to read actual slave accounts, and I was surprised how many didn't say bad things about their owners after they were free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say like slavery was a horrible institution, but I can't talk about that fact without getting canceled.
Yes, you can.
I can't say, hey,
you can easily talk about slavery without getting canceled.
Slaves had a good relationship with their owners without getting
not
canceled.
true. Because it's just not true.
Yeah,
it's not true.
So, in that comment right there, super irresponsible. Some slaves had good relationship with their owners. My G, a lot of that was just like survival tactics. Like, why would you be a dick towards your slave owner? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to get lashes. You don't want to get your like. It's just common sense.
What George Washington was not a father figure to his slaves.
Well, if you look up like I think it was Booker
47. Let's see, 47 of George Washington's slaves tried to escape. Would you try to escape if you loved your master?
maybe that one was wrong. I don't know. This was like
okay.
a little bit on a podcast months ago. I don't really remember, but and I said I wasn't sure if it was Washington either in that interview at some point. But
well, George Washington
the whole I'm bringing up is I'm not even allowed to have this conversation without.
What do you mean not allowed?
That, but I mean, we're giving you the platform.
I mean,
we're giving you the platform since you were perceived a certain way. They are giving you the platform to clear some sort of like preconceived notions about you up. Okay, clear it up. If that's not what you think, if you think something differently, if you are getting taken out of context, clear it up right now. You have the floor. Clear it up, but she can't because she's too stupid, and she doesn't at the same. Okay, so she's stupid on one point, and then on the other point, she doesn't want to lose her audience and like backtrack. So she's really stuck in a weird place right now. But God,
months of backlash for this. I'm now like you guys are kind of trying to do a gotcha moment.
No. I didn't know about the backlash. I promise.
I'm not really.
I didn't know about the backlash. I promise I didn't.
Like, I had months.
I just want to know what you think.
Like I had months of people. Like it's like if I have this conversation, I had months of people calling my employees slaves. Like that's what they call like.
I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's a little funny. But my question is, what the fuck did you expect? You had a whole white supremacist on your podcast around black people. What did you expect? Okay, Jesus,
that's horrible. Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah, that's terrible. But
horrible.
But at the same time,
and like even the guy, and you know this because you watched the video of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
The reaction you just showed, like you're acting oblivious, so I didn't know that, but you do know that because the reaction you just watched was my former co-host who insinuated that my employees were being colonized.
Oh, I didn't know that. I promise. So I just wanted to get your take. There. Well, people say I just wanted to know what your thoughts are on this. That's all.
I'm not like my channel isn't about slavery. That's like a fringe.
I know. I want to know about.
It was something that you talked about on your channel, so we want to bring it up. Ethan, stop bullying me.
But I'm asking, like, why are you bringing this up when that's not really what my channel is about?
I can only ask you things about. This is interesting. I want to ask you about it. But I can only ask you things in a confined space about your channel?
You can, but you understand how that looks to me. It's like you're just trying to pick out every single.
Listen, Pearl.
Thanks for joining, Tristan.
To be totally fair, you could just say, "I don't think slavery was embellished."
Like you were
like
just
that's
talking
super
about,
easy. That's a layup for most people.
But the fact that you aren't saying that means that you think that slavery was embellished.
I was quoting a book. That's the crazy part. I was quoting a book.
And you still can't say it.
So do you agree with his statement, though?
Do I think overall it was embellished? Some parts, sure.
What parts?
Which parts?
Some parts.
No, please tell me which parts. Tell me.
I think that you can't... I think that certain slaves had good relationships with their owners. Not all, maybe not most, but I think some did.
And that just
and there are accounts of them saying this.
So some slaves had good relationships with their masters. Therefore, slavery was embellished.
You know how this is going to go for me. Like, I don't know why you're doing this. You know I can't have this conversation. Like, I mean, you even came in, like, you researched, like, my family. Like, that's weird.
How's that weird? It's all knowledge, you stupid. It's public knowledge.
They're
Public. It's stuff
figures.
you talked about. You literally
about it all the
talked
time.
about it. It's called preparation, which
No,
you
I
clearly
didn't-
done none of.
I didn't.
Like, you
talk
literally
about if
do
my
no
mom-
preparation,
I didn't
and you
talk
talk, like,
about.
dude.
I didn't talk about if my mom was the president of like the company.
Where did we
You
find
would
that?
Find that on their
I
website.
just looked it up. I said I googled who
Yeah,
are your
but that's
parents,
the-
and it popped right up.
Is that
Yeah,
They're
what?
that's
famous.
what
They're
I'm
relatively famous.
I didn't send a
He has
private
interviews on
investigator.
YouTube. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't send a private investigator to your house. I just did a little bit of research.
Public information.
Like, let me bring facts about your parents to
You
this interview.
dude, you knew
Like-
you were coming to talk to me for weeks.
Could have easily done that.
I
You're
know,
welcome
but I
to.
thought we were talking about the issues, not like
That
my
is an
fam-
issue.
We didn't talk about your
my
family.
family.
I was
yeah,
not-
I mean, you were even implying earlier.
First of all, it is relevant that your mom is the president when you're
No,
talking
but
about.
you didn't know any of the backlash I got.
Well, who cares? You said it. Just own it.
No,
Be
I'm
red
asking.
pill.
I'm asking. You didn't know any of the backlash
I didn't.
got.
I didn't know about it.
No idea. Even though you got that from a video that my ex co-host made about me.
Right.
See, like, this is dishonest. It's not honest.
But
To be
what's
fair,
the problem?
Ethan
You're
most
getting-
definitely knew about that shit. He knew about that shit for sure, 1000%. Honestly, he needs to like own his shit too. He needs to stand in it. I've been like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Because she wouldn't have anything to say after that. What's up, Eisen? You missed a lot. You missed a lot.
backlash for
You're gonna have to rewatch.
something that
no,
you think.
but I'm
that
saying,
you think.
so you're like,
You
you're
think
not
that. You brought your parents up when you were talking about hiring people, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I think it's a bit
You talk about your
disingenuous.
parents all the time. You talk about how your dad is rich. You did a tour of his whole barn with the bowling alley and fucking recreational
Did.
stuff in it. Like, why am I not allowed to
But I'm
talk
saying,
about
like, you even just said that you knew. Like, because you got that clip from an like
Okay, who cares?
We're not here to protect your reputation.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
We
Let's
don't
say
care.
I didn't know about it to the extent that it was such an issue for you, but let's just say it was. I mean,
I do have to go though because I have a show coming up.
Rage
So-
quit.
okay, let's just end on this note.
Mhm.
Slavery was embellished because some masters had good relationships with their masters. Some slaves had good relationships with their masters.
All right.
But don't you see how
This is-
easy it is
this
to
is-
just say, I don't think it was embellished?
Man, this
I don't
is-
think
Or
it's a
if you think that, stay in it. Stay in it. Own it. If that's what you think.
You guys
Wait.
act just like Abba and Preach.
Like,
you
Pearl.
act just like them.
Wait, Pearl, I don't think it's a secret that some masters had good relationships with their slaves. I don't think that's a secret. There's been a whole
Okay,
diver.
thank you. I really
Oh,
I really appreciate you having me on. But I'm gonna go. Thank you.
George.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate you. Okay.
She hung up.
Have a good night. Have a good night.
She hung up.
Whoa.
I just
Hey,
don't.
Whoa.
I just don't
Oh,
understand
shit.
why you can't.
She was panicking at the end there. Holy shit.